Dear friends, we are going to be celebrating this Shabbat and reading the double portion of Achrei Mos Kedoshim. This is also the 31st installation of our Corona Inspiration series. And I want to focus on one area in the Parsha, which is something to think about. The second of the double portion is called Kedoshim. Kedoshim means to be holy. And the Torah tells us, Kedoshim tiyu, you should all be holy. And the Parsha continues to tell us many, many commandments. Many of them are commandments that govern human behavior between one another. And there's a refrain that we see again and again, specifically in this week's portion, that after a commandment or several commandments, it says, Ani Hashem, I am your God. We obviously know I am your God. Who's giving us the Torah? Who speaks the Torah? Moshe always spoke God's words. What do you mean, I am your God? So we are told, whenever it says, Ani Hashem, I am your God, Hashem is telling us there are times when the people around you do not really know what's going on inside of you. They do not really understand your intention of why you're doing a certain act. But for me, you can't hide. I know exactly what's going on inside of you. So for instance, if you hear a friend wants to buy a house, and you say, hey, I have the best house for you to buy. Come here, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to explain to you. Or someone is looking for a certain insurance, you say, I have the best insurance for you, or whatever it is they're looking for, and you say, I have the best thing for you, come, and you show you're excited to help them, and they really think you are interested in their well-being. But they don't know that you are doing this for your own good, because either you get a commission, or your friend is going to do you a favor because you brought him a client. So all of a sudden, what the person thinks you're doing out of love and care is really out of total self-interest, and you don't even care about the person. And very often you're giving them not something that's better for them, because it's better for you. And so it is in many of the things that the Torah talks about here. It's talking about acts that you may do, and sometimes the acts are seemingly good, seemingly because you take an interest in someone else. But they're driven by a very personal interest. And this is what the Torah says, Kedoshim to you. Where do you have to be holy? When you're doing something for God, God doesn't care how holy you are. You know why? Because if you're putting on tefillin, you're doing it for no other reason than because God told you to do it. Because there's no personal gain when you put on tefillin or you keep Shabbos or any mitzvah between us and God. But when you're doing a mitzvah that is between you and another person, all of a sudden there could be personal gain. And there's nothing wrong if you win along with your friend. But what happens if you're winning and your friend is losing? You're misleading them, and you're taking them down a path that's not good for them. That's where Kedoshim to you. That's where a person becomes holy. When you're even helping a friend and someone else, but you do not think about yourself. You only think about your friend. Imagine that if someone listened to your issues that you brought to them, or you go to them for advice, and they only think about what's in it for you, and they do not think at all about what's in it for them, that's a holy person. That's someone who's living their life for you and to do something good rather than just for themselves. And this is the place where the Torah says you can go from someone that just keeps the commandments to someone that becomes a holy person. Someone whose life is not about me, it's about helping someone else. It's about living for God, even in the actions between humans where I may benefit, but I'm not doing it for my own benefit. And it's interesting, in Jewish law, there were many laws enacted to ensure that when you're involved in public monies, etc., that you get no benefit from it. Because we want to be clear that you're never having any motivation that's personal. So when we do the mitzvah, the mitzvah in this portion, love yourself like you love yourself, it's always about the other person. And even though we know that when you do what's right for God, ultimately goodness will come to you in a greater measure. But that's not the calculation either. We're told to care about another person, to have human interaction for other people, for their benefit. That's what makes a better society. Because if we're all doing it for our benefit, it's a dog-eat-dog society in just a more refined fashion. So this is a challenge for us and a time for us to contemplate how today we are looking at ourselves, but when we get back into society, when we look at others, let's look at others for others. And when we care for others, Hashem cares for all of us in the best way. So I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. May God bless you all. Candlelighting time in Montreal is 7:43 p.m. We love you all. And be safe, and be healthy, and be well.